The world's focus is now on Donald Trump. He will be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States, and he has been very vocal about bringing drastic changes on many subjects. So, what can we expect moving forward? We have Mr. Sridhar Krishnaswamy with us, a foreign affairs expert who has done some close watch on US affairs. Hi, sir. Welcome to the Federal.
Thank you.
Sir, I would like to start with his speech at the pre inauguration rally. He made some strong promises and committed to reverse many of Biden's policies. So, what can we expect from him?
Thank you. When you're talking about Donald Trump, there are a lot of things that he said during the campaign trail, which I'm sure he will go through upon inauguration and in his term of office. Now, broadly speaking, on the domestic front, we are looking at three major aspects. One is on taxes. Secondly, it's on immigration. And then thirdly, you have his policies on energy. You can expect some very bold executive orders on the first day itself. And the Republicans are talking about some 100 executive orders. Now, forget the numbers. Okay, but here we are looking at a president who has promised to make sweeping tax changes that will benefit, in his view, across the board. The Democrats have been saying that his tax breaks have always been only for the rich. Now, that remains to be seen. Secondly, it's on energy. One of the first things that Mr. Trump has promised to do is to roll back the Biden administration ban on drilling. So he is very firm, very committed to that. So you can expect Mr. Trump to act very soon on issues of energy. The third and by far the biggest thing that everybody, especially in the MAGA group, that Make America Great Again group, they are looking forward to is on immigration. Now, many of us in India are bent out of shape on the H-1B visas. But Mr. Trump's focus will be on the H-1Bs, no doubt. But his major focus will be on ways to get rid of the illegals that he has promised during the campaign trail. Now, don't forget, it's a very, very Herculean task. You are looking at 13 million illegals who are in the United States. Now, is he going to be able to do all it in one stroke? No. Because leave alone the monetary aspects of it, the logistics part of it is simply frightening. So now you're looking at a very packed, domestic, what shall I say, package from Mr. Trump, and he will start maybe the very minute after he is sworn to issue a slew of executive orders. Now, some of them may be tenable, some of them may not be tenable, but it remains to be seen what he has up his sleeve.
Sir, this inauguration itself will see many firsts, I think, including foreign leaders and big tech CEOs attending, which has not been happened before in the US president's inaugurations. Do these changes emphasize anything?
No, it's just Mr. Trump's way of doing things. He is very, very unpredictable. Yes, you are right. The American presidential inaugurations have always been a domestic affair. But for the first time, Mr. Trump is throwing it out as some kind of an international event in which he invited the president of China and a host of other leaders. Some of them are attending. The Chinese president, Mr. Xi, has said he is not coming, and he has deputed his special envoy. And then there are many foreign ministers who are attending, including Foreign Minister of India, External Affairs Minister of India. So, and then you've got a whole slew of big tech people, multi-billionaires who are, very close to Mr. Trump, or who'd like to get very close to Mr. Trump, they will all be attending. The only disappointment for Mr. Trump and the MAGA crowd is that the weather is not cooperative. So they are moving it indoors. That means you're going to find thousands of people left out of the inaugural fun, and that's how it's going to be.
Sir, I have one more questions on this. A question on this line. Sir, Trump's rhetoric is often been populism, and he also has close ties with many corporate giants. Will this mix of populism and corporate influence affect any inequalities that has been prevailing in both domestic and globally?
No, it really doesn't, because Mr. Trump, you have to understand, is a businessman. He has had no political experience at all until the time he took office in 2016. He's a businessman, and that's all he knows. He knows only wheeling, dealing, and he's very good at that, he says. And at the same time, he's also he can easily excite a crowd. If you have seen his speech yesterday, he just about set the Capitol Center on fire, by some of the remarks he made. And CNN, of course, did a fact check, and they found number of inaccuracies. But the bottom line is that Mr. Trump does not care. His campaign was based on a number of falsehoods, but he didn't care. The others didn't care. The opposition couldn't make anything out of it. And you have to you have to be patient with Mr. Trump. We don't know what exactly his line of thinking is on. I mean, kind of any given day. So I don't see it's some kind of a contradictory. That's Mr. Trump, populist and an oligarchist. He doesn't. He thinks everything is fine. Yeah.
My last question is the most discussed topics here is the confusion over H-1B visa program. What do you think happen with immigration and work visas, and how could that affect the Indian IT industry and professionals who are working in the US?
See, you have to understand, Arun, that H1B. What is Mr. Trump angst against the H1Bs? He has always been in favor of H1Bs. He himself has said that in many of his properties, there are people with H1Bs who are working. Now, what is the problem here? The problem is there is a perception in America, widespread perception in America, that these H1Bs are undercutting American jobs. Meaning what? The employers of H1B people are paying less to their workers on high skilled visas than they otherwise would have to pay for their American counterparts. You see, I have been covering this H1B since 1995, and it has always been a sword of a kind of bone of contention. Eh, and it remains to be seen. On the one hand, you have the MAGA crowd that says no H1B. And then on the other hand, you have friends of Mr. Trump, Elon Musk, for example, who is always a supporter, who has always been a supporter of H1Bs. Mr. Trump himself came through the H1B route, they are saying, so you're going to have this. It's very but I think the bottom line is that Mr. Trump will call for vast major changes in the H1B program, including your fee, your duration of stay, or who can apply, or what is the minimum wage that you have to pay. But so people really who are high skills, they have nothing to worry about because they'll get paid more if Mr. Trump has his way. But I think Mr. Trump's primary focus on day one and thereafter will be on illegal immigration in the United States, and that's a huge problem. It's a problem that successive Congress has not been able to solve. And I don't think there is an easy way out. You're talking about, pathways to a green card, and then from a green card, to a citizen. Now somebody is floating the idea that the whole concept of naturalized Americans itself should be put into question. So it's going to be a very interesting 4 years of Mr. Trump. At the same time, it could be a very troublesome 4 years for people who are seemingly affected by the policies of Mr. Trump.